Welcome to another episode of Help Nobody Told Me. I'm Jasmine Shapiro, and this is my partner Shannon Johnson, and we're realtors with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services here in the Chicagoland area.
Today we have another fellow realtor and friend of ours, Priscilla Johnson. She is also with Berkshire Hathaway, but today we're going to talk about her other job as a female licensed general contractor, which is pretty exciting in itself. We love to see females in the industry, and but one of her passions is helping seniors age in place. And tell us a little bit, Pris, about why that became a passion of yours.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. My father passed away in 2006 after 62 years of marriage, leaving my mom in a large home. And I had a sibling who felt that moving her very quickly and selling the home was the best option, and it wasn't. She had no time to grieve.
That was not your mom's wishes, right?
No. But she did what the family person had recommended, so packed her up and moved her out to a smaller, manageable home.
Okay.
In doing so, I realized that there were issues that she was facing that would make it unsafe, and tried to recognize those issues and rectify them and make it safer for her to be alone at 82 after losing her best friend from the time she was 19.
Right.
So she couldn't even balance a checkbook. We had to make that home safe, and that became the motivation to be able to work with seniors and guide them so that they could stay in their homes, whether it was after the loss of a spouse or just stay in their homes as long as they could safely.
So for your mom, like you got her in this house, was it a ranch?
No, she actually had an elevator. It was a penthouse apartment with an elevator, and when the elevator went out, she walked up all 7 flights.
So what did you do? You must have been
There's nothing you can do
horrified.
about I was in Illinois, she was in Idaho. She just called me all the way walking up the stairs.
Wow.
That wasn't the best location for her, perhaps, to have moved to without a backup system. Here and there were other issues. Skid strips, anti-slip strips in the bathroom, in the bathtub, in her shower, grab bars going near the entrance of the tub and the shower, grab bars going up the steps, or handrails that were secured.
Mm-hmm.
Footwear is huge. Seniors put their slippers on, and that's usually the number one reason why seniors fall, are poor footwear.
Right.
Inside the home.
Right, so slippers, you don't want the little slippers with the back off of them and no ankle support. You need
Grippy
a shoe for your
wear
home that is secure, that supports your ankle, that has some grip on the bottom of it, that is going to keep you steady on your feet, right?
You can find a comfortable slipper that fits, that doesn't allow your footbed to slide. The issue with the slippers is the tripping and the falling and stairs and rugs and tripping over the corner of a rug. Double tape your rug corners down. Take your second rugs off of your rugs. Remove rugs altogether.
What about ramps?
Ramps are necessary, but they still have to have rails on them. Ramps can get you in and out of the house. If a senior can't use handrails or guards or their walker to get in, then ramps may become a necessity. Might be required coming in from the garage to have a ramp. Might be required going in the front steps. If there's handrails and seniors can work safely with handrails, then put handrails in.
Can you share a particular project where you made some significant changes that really improved the quality of someone's life?
Yes. I had a senior from church who had recently lost her husband. She was on a stepladder trying to change light bulbs, and we put LED light bulbs, candelabra, floodlights. Every light bulb shape and size is made in an LED light bulb. If you turn it on for 365 days, 24 hours a day, it costs her under $5 for a light bulb. Light bulbs last 6 years. You're not using it all the time. They're not on all the time. You can anticipate a 10-year longevity on light bulbs. One senior's home, we replaced 64 light bulbs in their basement. Can lights. The cost is effective because of how the charges on LED are not as much as an incandescent light bulb. The benefit is you're not changing a light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting on a step ladder. You're not reaching. Those light bulbs get changed out, and it's much safer.
Well, we don't think about something so minor like, oh, it's a light bulb, not a big deal. But when we think about our parents or grandparents or loved ones
Stepping on a stool.
getting on a ladder and reaching, I get on a ladder and reach and get nervous.
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
there's balance issues
Correct.
on top of that, and I don't have anything to hold on to,
No, change
that's
the
a
light
whole
bulbs.
different world.
Change the light bulbs
But I
inside
think-
and out.
I think people always fear, I'm never going to find somebody to come out to do a small job like that.
No, these can all be put together. All these modifications can be put together and phased in. And if it's a larger modification, in other words, if a hallway needs to be modified, if it's possible, hallways can be modified, doorways can be modified
So making
structurally.
them larger.
We just did this at our home. We have one of our 8 kids is in a walker, and she uses canes. She couldn't get through one of our doors into the bathroom. Bathroom door was too small. We
Okay.
did have the capability, structurally, to widen the doorway for her.
And you know all these things. I mean, the average homeowner probably doesn't know, is this a load-bearing wall? Can I open up?
Correct.
So,
So you need a contractor.
licensed contractor
Right.
to come in and tell you,
Insured.
know that
Bonded.
you're doing the right thing and that
Correct.
it's safe.
Yes. And if it's possible, or what modifications could benefit the homeowner. This is another thing we added. We put this same homeowner, we put these gutter guards into her gutters. She was having ice damming. This decreased the ice.
Wow.
This little guy, not the ones that cover, not the really expensive ones. These are so inexpensive. This, in a senior's home, decreased all of her ice damming. There's one small pocket of ice damming. There's a reason for it. It's a south-facing area, and I taught her how to toss a hockey puck of ice melt into that corner, and the leaking inside her home stopped. There's no way to decrease that damming because of the position of the sun, but this, along with these little ice hockey pucks, this 85-year-old lady's still living in her house,
That's awesome.
not on a ladder.
So what Pris is showing for those of you who are listening is a triangular shaped kind of
Cellulose insert
cellulose insert. Thank
for a
you.
gutter. The least expensive.
Where do you find that?
This is Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Yep.
Okay.
Comes in a 4-foot section, cut it with scissors, and it gets installed into the gutter, and the homeowner doesn't have to clean the gutter. The water goes through, the little whirly birds and things sit on top, it doesn't matter. But the ice damming is the biggest thing that this decreases. This is the best product I've found.
Honey, we need to buy those for the winter if you
For
are
sure.
listening.
Clean the gutters and put them in.
Yeah.
I love that. So it's some of the things that you can do are inexpensive.
Correct.
They're not major modifications.
No.
And I think we need to think about, even if you're putting up handrails, you need someone to make sure that those are properly anchored into the wall.
Correct.
Otherwise, someone's going to reach for that and it's going to fall out.
Correct.
Then you have a bigger problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have
And
an
even
injury.
in the shower, I know we redid our master bathroom years ago, and someone suggested, make sure you reinforce the wall. Since
Yes.
it's already opened up, reinforce it, because at some point you'll need to put grab bars.
Correct.
Or put grab bars. And I was like, no, they're ugly. But I got to tell you, in the process, we did have the walls secured. And then my husband was playing basketball, broke a bone in his foot. And guess what? It was like, okay, you
You
guys,
needed
the
grab
workers
bars.
are still there. Now we're going to put the grab bars in.
Yep. Yep.
And it was the best thing we did.
Yeah, you don't anticipate an issue no matter what age.
Right.
So my stroke patient, who happened to be younger than me, we installed grab bars, temporary suction cup grab bars. We installed into studs. Those can be removed, plastered, painted.
Okay.
The ones in the bathtub, and the shower area were suction cup, and they held, and
Really?
she thanked me at church and said, "I'm done with them."
And I had knee injuries, and I have some of those suction cup
Yep.
ones, because there's still days
have
where,
to.
and I now think, when we remodel our bathroom, I know that I'm going to put the comfort height seat in here in the
Yeah.
toilet, because
Yes.
if I have a pair of high heels on when I sit down on that toilet, it's awfully low when I go to stand up.
Or a bench seat in the shower. You want
Right.
to make provisions to put that support in the back of your shower for the
Right.
bench seat,
Right.
for a flip down.
And some of the grab bars are actually attractive now.
They are.
They are as pretty as the
Yes.
towel rods and
They can
everything.
actually-
Toilet paper grab bars.
Yes, they can incorporate
Easy.
them into the design.
Yes,
they don't
they can.
have to look handicapped.
And in different metals. I just purchased one that's brass handicap grab bar that's also a toilet paper holder that doesn't look
Oh,
handicapped at all. I modified the house for his daughter so it doesn't look handicapped but completely functional.
wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because that's important. You want your home to feel
Homey.
Right.
beautiful and like a big hug, right? You don't want it to feel sterile.
That's the whole point. You're staying there. You're
Yes.
comfortable. You want it to look
Yes.
good, but you also need to know you're safe.
Incorporate the design into the modification.
Right. So we started today's conversation when you were talking about your mom, and your family wanted her to move, and you knew that she wanted to stay put. Have you encountered other families? I would imagine that's pretty common, where mom or dad, one of them passes away, or
Mhm.
one of them gets injured,
Mhm.
and people think, oh God, they cannot live independently at home.
Yes.
Maybe they get a caregiver to come in, but they still need modifications. I know
Yes.
my mom needed it. She's at home, and we had to get a ramp. We had to do various things. My father had a stroke years ago, so we had grab bars and some of the other things.
Mhm.
But we had to make further modifications. Do you have situations where you dealt with family members that maybe weren't on board?
Mhm.
How do you handle that?
Yeah.
It's the kids, and I have to be able to ensure to the adult children who are also going to face these issues that their parents are going to be safe. And we incorporate other products. Alexa. It's key. Alexa or a Google type product.
Mm-hmm.
The client that I went to her house and she had fallen on the floor, I saw her through the kitchen window. She'd been there for a couple hours, fractured her ankle. I got in there, ambulance came, she was okay. But had she had an Alexa, she could have just said, Alexa, call 911. Alexa, call Jasmine.
Right.
She could have done any number of things. Her landline was on the wall, up high. She couldn't move. She was in extreme pain. So the Alexa would have helped her. Instead of this thing
Those-
around her neck,
Right, because
you put an Alexa in her bedroom, in a room, in an open area. You can
Right.
you can yell for Alexa in a fall.
right.
Unconscious, no. A knock box
What's a
outside
knock-
your
what
door.
is a knockbox?
Highland Park requires knocks boxes. It's got a small box
Where do they
outside your
require them?
entrance. Highland Park
Uh-huh.
on new sales.
On all
So-
new homes?
On new sales, my clients who are very young just purchased a home had to have their knock box installed. Knox box.
Oh.
Inside, the police can get to, fire department police can get to front door key. So a Knox box and Alexa, these are just very simple products that can be implemented to help.
So how big are these
Ring
Knox
doorbell.
boxes?
It's probably 5 inches by 5 inches.
And is it by the front door or by the garage? or
They
is
give
it
you a
hidden?
specific
Okay.
distance away from the front door and off the ground that they want it, so that when they come, they look and they've got that.
They can't be searching for it.
Nope.
If there's an emergency,
Nope, can't be
they need
hidden
to get
behind
to it.
a bush.
But how does
can't-
that prevent like a burglar to come in?
Burglar can't get into the Knox box.
Okay.
There's a special key that Highland Park has to be
Got
able to
it.
unlock that box and get that front door key out.
And we sold a condo in Lincolnshire, and
That
it was
had
the
one.
same thing. It was a requirement.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
very good thing.
Yeah.
It actually happened to somebody where they came in and the man was sleeping and his beeper on his
Life alert.
life alert went off, and they came in and he's standing over the firemen, ambulance people are standing over this man, and he's like, hi. He had just triggered it. They got in with
realize
the
it.
Knox box.
Okay.
And went in and woke this man up.
Wow.
He was like, okay, it works.
It works.
And do people have to hire a contractor to put a Knox box in?
No, it should be secured properly. I mean, if a homeowner is adept,
Handy or,
handy,
yeah,
then it just has to be anchored into the wall,
okay,
exterior wall.
okay. That's good information.
It-
And I think it's probably valuable for anybody.
Yes.
You have little kids or teens that are at home and you might be at work. That would be a really good thing to have, don't you think?
Ring doorbell,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
cameras.
yeah, yeah.
What sets your business apart from other contracts who might also provide aging in place services?
I haven't found another contractor that does what I do.
Yeah.
I can research and I can look. There are definitely contractors that are adept and that can go into a client and work with that client and find what their needs are. There are definitely other contractors that can do this. I haven't found anybody that highlights this as a priority or one of their specialties.
Okay. How do you work with someone on a limited budget? There's a lot of things that need to be done. Maybe they can't afford everything. Like,
Mhm.
can you work with someone like that?
Absolutely.
How do you make a plan for them?
I can sit down with them and we would take their budget and we would also take the priorities of the most key important safety issues and implement those.
Right.
I want to be able to ask them, where are your holiday dishes? Are they down low or are they up high? Are your everyday dishes down low? Are you stepping on a stepladder or a small stool to reach for something?
Mm-hmm.
Can we bring everything down? Can we walk through the house and let me see how you use your home? Let me see how you come in through the garage. Let me see how you come in through the front steps.
And I guarantee they probably say, well, I don't use this room because it's too difficult for me to get there, whether it has
Well,
stairs or whatever.
Or if there's clutter or
Right.
other things, then
Right.
there's a process to implement, prioritize what's really, really, really key. It might be as simple as
Setting up some organizational things.
declutter.
Mhm.
Right.
Declutter. Falling. Again, falling is the number one safety issue for senior over 65.
Well, and oftentimes our seniors are on blood thinners,
Mhm.
so that's an even bigger concern when it comes to falling. So all of that comes into play besides broken bones and things like that. So yes, falling
wanna-
is a huge concern for me with my parents.
Right,
I'm
right.
always concerned about that.
But you can take that budget and you can phase it out. So you can get the most important, critical items dealt with first, and then come back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a month or 2 months or whatever. When it's affordable to be able to complete the list, you just do it in phases. And you work with the senior. You work with their caregivers if there's other people involved.
Mhm.
You work with the professionals that are there, and if they say, she needs a seat. She needs a seat in the shower.
Right.
Can you just help with that? Can you get something, a grab bar, so that she can swing her leg over the tub? We don't want to modify the tub to make it a walk-in tub. That's too expensive. But can you put a grab bar on? Absolutely.
And have you had pushback from seniors? Let's say the kids contacted you and said, okay, you know, I can kind of see it. I don't think my parents necessarily are aware because they've been living like this for so long. But I'm starting to notice that, you know, it may be unsafe for them to live independently in their home.
Mhm.
I would like you to start, I've heard great things that you have done. I'd like to start doing that. Have the seniors ever given pushback, or are they usually, thank you?
The
Yes.
seniors are generally thank you because their
Okay.
goal is to stay in their home.
Okay.
Make the home safe. It's generally the adult children that have more concern.
Okay.
The parents are going, I'm okay.
Right.
I've lived here for 50 years.
Right. But
Leave
they
me
don't
be.
often notice that it's cluttered, or
Or
you
the
know,
stairs going down to the basement are steep and the handrail is loose.
exactly, or there is no
There's
handrail.
there's a slippery surface on the stairs going to the basement. They may not see that. They've walked down there for 50 years. It's not an issue.
Right.
But the one slip in a loose
All it
slipper is all it takes.
That's right.
Right.
What are any new significant trends that you're starting to see in construction that could change aging in place?
Houses are being built with wider doorways and wider hallways, which means you can get a walker down a hallway, you can get canes down a hallway. Houses that were built before, the stairs are narrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and
If it would
wheelchairs.
help-
I mean, wheelchairs too, it needs to be accessible.
Wheelchairs, they're not going to be able to go down our old homes.
Mm-hmm.
Things are more open, the concepts are open. We're working with larger spaces. Primary bathrooms have been built with showers and tubs. Just make everything safe. Make it safe. The floors don't need to be a slippery, glossy tile.
Right,
Tone it down.
yeah.
Right.
It's pretty.
Okay. It is
It's
pretty.
unsafe.
It's unsafe for all of us.
It's unsafe for all of us.
Well, we are so glad we had you on today.
Did
Thank
we leave
you so
anything out?
much.
Is there anything important that you need to tell us?
Seniors, I just want to keep seniors in their homes.
Right.
I want them to be able to stay where they're at, where they're familiar, in their community, with their neighbors. If that goal can be met and a parent can have a couple more years, 10 more years, 15, 20,
Yeah.
go for it.
And seniors
Your parents are happy there.
and they're important to our community.
Absolutely.
We need them. We need their wisdom
do.
and their experience and all of that to richen our communities. So it's part of who we are, and we need to value those people in our community. That's what this podcast is all
Yeah,
about.
therefore, but the grace of God go I. I'm going to be there at some point too.
We're all going to be
We're
there.
all going to be there.
Absolutely. And you even said you have a child that has some special
Special needs that the
and needs.
requirements
So it's
and-
not
and-
just seniors, but
No.
yeah.
But the other part of this is that as seniors' needs change, just like Don's daughter's needs change, you just adapt. You
Right.
adjust. You make it so that the life for them is a lot easier. Mobility is easier. Anything that you can
And
do.
the life for their caretakers is easier.
Absolutely.
Well, we are definitely going to put all of your contact information in our show notes, because I really believe there are not too many contractors that are licensed and bonded and insured that want to come out and do small jobs like this. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense for their business model. And you are a diamond in the rough, and we
Thank you.
appreciate you being with us. And if anybody would want to reach out to you, we will have all that contact
Absolutely.
information.
Thank you. Just implement a plan.
Totally.
Set a
And
plan up, talk about it, hand it over to the client.
Right.
That's
there
it.
you go.
There you go.
And thank you for tuning in. And we'll be back next week on Wednesday at Help Nobody Told Me.